Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for November 6th. Got a whole lot going on in the market, a lot of trades triggering and a lot of potential trades that are out there. Don't know if y'all saw the pound unexpectedly dropping their rate by more than 1%, or one point rather. And it was definitely unexpected, and that's why we saw the drop in the pound US dollar a day. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. We're looking at the US Japanese yen pair to start. I'm expecting this pair to move between 99.42 and 96.56. This pair, of course, is closed down and is, I believe, moving sideways at this point. The bias is sideways currently. Now let's take a look at the Euro USD pair. This pair I'm expecting to move between 130.43 on the high side, on the low side 125.61. Now look for some resistance if this pair moves higher at 127.90, and look for some support around 126.22, and we're roughly 60 pips from that particular point. Now, if you noticed yesterday, we talked a little bit about a trade where we noted that the market is consolidating down currently, and that we could get a trade out of this. Well, this particular spot, if the market surges down, that's at 126.43. So look to go short, maybe around 126.40. That way we get a couple of pip break out of it, and look for it to go down to this particular session's low. That would be a over 100 pip move, by the way, down to the 125.20 area. But just take that low, and it should go down to that point, possibly bounce off of it. If we get a break below it, if you want to get a free trade and it breaks through that, it touches that, go ahead and put your stop to break even, or maybe a little bit in profit, and then just see if it will continue on down through the rest of the Friday session. We can get some really large moves on Friday, so this is definitely a play you need to watch for. Now let's take a look at the pound US dollar pair. This particular pair, I'm expecting it to move between 161.45 on the high side, on the lower side 152.00. Now look for some resistance around 157.50 and support around 155.50 for this pair. Now if you noted on this particular pair, we actually broke through during today's session this point, and that particular point was at 157.08. So 157.08, if you would have gotten out of the market at the close of this session, you would have been up about 80 pips. And of course the market looks like it's going to continue on down. If you're still in this trade, look to get out possibly at this low. Definitely look for some support possibly here. It's kind of bounced off that already. If we get a break through that, which I believe we will, this would be our next target. And then of course these particular lows support that's been tested twice before. Now let's switch over to the US Swiss. This particular pair, I'm looking for it to go as high as 118.75. Look for some resistance though around 118.50 for that pair. On the lower side, we're looking for a range down to 114.95. That's would be a pretty good move, although we've had some pretty good moves here recently in this particular pair. Look for support at 117.50 in this pair. This pair is pretty much moving sideways. I do think the bias is to the upside, but this pair seems to take its time on its way up. Now, if you as I mentioned before, the pound dropped their interest rate by 1 point, actually by 1.5 points, from 4.5% down to 3%. It was expected to only drop 1%, so that helped the move today in the pound. Now the Eurozone also dropped their rates from 3.75% down to 3.25% as expected. Now looking forward to tomorrow, we have the German trade balance for September being released at 2 a.m. and there's no consensus at this time. Now the Canadian dollar has their unemployment rate being released for October at 7 a.m. The consensus is that it has dropped from 106.9K down to 5.0K. That's just a huge drop. I don't know if this consensus is right. I'd be surprised if it is. That just seems like too large of a drop to occur in 1 month. Now looking at the U.S. non-farm payroll, we have that being released tomorrow for October at 8:30 a.m. The consensus is that we've gone from negative 159K to negative 200K. I could see that jump happening, possibly even a little more for the non-farm payroll. It's a great time to be trading the news if you do so. It's the second largest mover as far as the news that's out there other than an interest rate change. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Now we have, on a little bit different note, I have put up the polls for tomorrow on the foreximpact.com website. Go ahead and go there and vote to basically, will the four majors be up next week at the close, down, or even? So I really appreciate y'all going there and voting. Until next time, this is Jason. Good trading.